In this video, I'm going to be comparing the choose function against the switch function against the index and match combination to show you how you can do lookups with those functions, when to best use them, and how you can also do summations and switch between one array versus another. For example, whether I want to sum up the amount column or the tax column, how to use those functions to easily swap from one column to another, and when you may want to use these functions, which ones are better suited for which purpose. So let's start with the index and match combinations. This is a very common one if you're not used to Excel or you're not familiar with this. A big reason why people use this combination is because unlike VLOOKUP, which can only go to the right, the index and match combination gives you that flexibility to go left or right when doing your lookups. So with the index and match, it requires using two functions. So let's say I want to look up my conferences. How much was spent on conferences. So I'll type in conferences as my lookup value here. And it's important to make sure that the name is exactly the same. So there's no spaces and it's spelled identically the same. So with the index and match function, how it works is when I open up the index function, the first thing I specify is the array. So consider this where you want to pull the values from. So if I want to pull the amount value, I'm going to select these values here. And now for the row number, this is where I'm going to use the match function, because basically I want the match function to tell me which row that value is found in. So I'm going to use the match function to say, look up this value conferences, and the array that I'm going to select is this one in the expense type. So I'm going to select all the way down, and it's important to make sure that these ranges are identical. This goes from row 2 to 21, 2 to 21. If they're not identical, then you're going to get an error. It's not going to work properly. So for the match type, I'm entering a 0 for an exact match. Close this out. For the column number, I'm only going to specify the number 1 just because in my index, I've only selected one column. So if I enter a value of more than 1, I'm going to get an error. So I'm going to close this out. And so it returns a value of $675, which is correct. I'm going to apply that formatting just so I've got the same sort of formatting, but that's how we can do that with the index and match combination. So a really common one, if you don't want to use VLOOKUP, or if you're using an older version of Excel where XLOOKUP isn't available, index and match is a go-to combination for a lot of people doing lookups. But what about the switch function? So here's how the switch function works. So I'm typing switch, and it's going to allow me to enter an expression and then the values that I'm searching and the result right away. So I'm basically creating an array on the fly here. So let's say I want to look up for a value of C. And I'm going to have different values and results that I'm creating here. So let's say if the value is A, the result for that is going to be 1. If the second value is B, then the result is going to be 2. If it's a C, then it's going to return a value of 3. So since I've entered C, I should expect to return the value 3, which I do. Now, if I change this value from a C to a B, then I got 2. If I change it to an A, then it's 1. So as you can see, it's a very, very simple type of lookup where you can enter in your array. So as opposed to creating a large table, if you just want a quick lookup, then you can use the switch function as long as you're comfortable just creating it in this sort of format where you're entering in the values and the results related to them. And this first argument, that's the value that you're entering. Now, obviously, you can reference an actual cell. We don't have to hard code this in here. So, for example, if I type in reference cell H6 here, and right now it's going to give me an error, but let's say I enter a value of A and B and C. So similar in the sense that we're still referencing that cell. We're doing a lookup, but again, that array is basically static and set up that way. So that's the advantage of using a switch function. We don't have to create a full-blown table. We can just utilize it right in here and set it up that way. And we can still reference a cell to do that lookup, calculation. But I'm also going to show you another way we can use this switch function. So here I looked up the value for conferences using index and match. I'm also going to do it for the switch function. I'm going to show you how we can do this where we're not actually creating the array right within the function. So with the switch function, I can still reference that value that I've got here, conferences. And that's essentially my lookup value. And the array that I'm going to look up is still in column column D. So I'm still looking up these expense types. And then I'm going to return the corresponding values here in this amount column. All right, so I'm still kind of doing a lookup this way. Now, if I enter this and create this formula as it is, the problem is I'm going to get all these NA errors. It's going to return an array. This is not what I want. Now, assuming there's only going to be one value, and I'm confident there's only going to be one value, then what I could just do is use a sum function and wrap the switch function within that. I still get an NA error, but what I can do is add an if error function inside of that as well to say if it's an error, return a value of 0. Close that out. And now I still get 675. So one thing to keep in mind is when we're doing a summation, I'm assuming there's no other matches. There's only going to be one match for conferences, but that's kind of the risk you take anytime you're doing lookups as well. If there is a duplicate value, there's the chance that you may return the wrong one. So, but that's how we can use the switch function to also do that, because in essence, we're still selecting a lookup array and a result array, and we have a lookup value. But because it's returning a full-blown array, we have to wrap that within the if error function to convert any errors to 0, and then wrap that within a sum function, then sum that all up. So that's how the switch function works. Next, let's go over the choose function. So I'm going to delete this here and show you how the choose function works. So in this example, I can specify again, let's do the same sort of thing where I'm selecting just A, B, and C. The big difference with the choose function is we're specifying an index number. So if you've used VLOOKUP, this is similar to how you're referencing a column number as opposed to using a match. With the switch function, you actually search for a match. But with the choose function, you're specifying the index number. So let's say I want the third value from a list, right? That's what I would enter in here. And so what I can do in this case, I'm still listing my values. Let's say A, B, and C. I can even add D, doesn't really matter, however big my array should be. So I've got that value in there in my array. So I'm going to pull the third value, which in this case is going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be the value C. So that's how that choose function works. The big difference is we're specifying a number to say, pull this value from that list. So the big disadvantage of the choose function there is, the order matters. If we put our array in a different order, then it's not going to return the result that we want. It's not doing an actual match. It's not searching for the value. Now we could also reference a cell just like I showed you in that other one. So if I enter a value of 2 here, instead of hard coding this 3, I reference that cell. It's got a value of 2, 1, and 3. So it's doing a lookup that way. But again, just like with the switch function, we're basically building up our array in here, our lookup list in there. The difference is though, we're essentially saying which of these values we're going to pick based on that order. So the big thing with the choose function is you're specifying a specific number that you want to pull from that list. So how can we do a lookup with the choose function in this case? So because we're looking up a specific number, this can be a bit more challenging because with the choose function, it's not doing a search for us. We have to specify that index number. And unless you've got your values always in the same order, then what you're probably going to need to do is utilize that match function again here as well. So in this case, we're going to take that value conferences and look it up within this range again. So we're selecting that as our lookup range, and we're looking for an exact match yet again. Now, the tricky part here is I can't just select all these values because that's not going to work. Because if I just select this, as you can imagine, it doesn't know which one to pick. What I actually need to do is pick these values one by one. And the problem with this is, again, if my order is incorrect, if I select these in the wrong order, then it's not going to return the correct value, potentially. So I still get the same value here, but as you can see, this is a much more tedious process in setting it up this way, just because now I've got to actually list these because it's returning that value where it finds that, and then based on that, it's going to look at which value it relates to. So if I go to the formulas tab here, click on evaluate formula, and now if I hit evaluate, I can see that it's looking for conferences in that range. It's pulling the 20th value. And so if I look at value 20, which is going to be the last one, so value 20 was E21, that's where it's getting that from. So in terms of doing a normal VLOOKUP, or a normal lookup, I should say, the choose function is not as useful as potentially the switch or the index and match combinations. So choose is really useful if you just want a quick lookup range like this, where you set it up, you specify your value, and everything is in a specific type of order, because that's going to be really important. Because just like with VLOOKUP, if you're referencing a certain column number and that column number changes, or it's not in the order that you would expect, you can get the incorrect results. So that's how we can pull the lookup value. So next, what I'm going to do is show you how we can sum up these values, these different columns, using these combinations or slightly different ones. So here's how we can do this. So what I want to do is specify whether I want to sum up the amount column or the tax column. So I'm going to enter my column that I want to select or sum up here. So I'm going to type in amount. And for the summation with index, I'm actually going to have to use more functions than just index and match for this. So with the index function, I wanted to dynamically change the position of the array based on my selection, whether I select amount or tax. So this can be a little bit tricky. And to accomplish this, I'm going to use the offset function. And so with the offset function, I'm basically setting aside a starting point and saying, okay, jump this many rows or columns to where I want to go. So my starting position is going to be from A2 to A20. That's as far left as I can go. That's my starting point. And so I don't want to offset any rows, but I do want to move columns. So I want to shift this horizontally based on where I find what I'm looking for. And because I'm looking to find something, I'm going to, again, use the match function. So in this case, I'm using that amount as my lookup value. And then I'm going to look in this range right here. So I'm not including column A because I've already got that. That's my starting point. And then I'm going to enter my match type as 0 because I'm looking for an exact match. So what this is going to do is look within that range and see how many spots I need to jump. So the amount column is found in the 1, 2, 3, 4th column. So it's going to jump 4 spaces from here. And so it should slot me right into here. So now I'm going to close this out. And then for my index function, I can close everything else out here just because I don't need any other values. And then it's going to return that list. So you can see 300, 450, 120. So that is correct. And now again, because this returns an array, I need to put this within a sum function to do that. So that's my total, and that matches up to this 6285. Let's use the format painter copy. So as you can see, it did work, but that's a lot of functions to do, to use that with. And so it is a little bit complicated setting up that way. But by doing this, if I change this to tax, now I can dynamically adjust it 31425. So it matches up nicely, and it's a dynamic formula where it's going to change based on the field that I've entered, and it's going to look for that as long as it's an exact match. So how can we do this now with the switch function? So with the switch function, this is a little bit easier in the sense that I'm still looking up my value of amount. And what I just need to do is set up these headers. So I'm going to say, okay, if it's an amount, then pull in this range. If it's this value, then this range. So it actually makes it really simple in that sense. As long as we don't have to do with too many columns, this can be a much easier option than using index and match. So based on that selection, it's going to return that. So if I enter tax, again, it's going to give me a different range. And again, let's put this within the sum function to add that all up. And so we got 31425, got the amount. So as you can see, it works just fine. And it's a little bit cleaner than that. The only disadvantage of doing it this way is you've got to set up all of these groupings to say for each one of these values what it relates to. So we're not utilizing a match function in this case, but we're specifying those different sections. Now let's turn to the choose function again. So with the choose function, we're going to specify the index number again. So for right now, I'm just going to enter this a value of 1. But basically what we're going to do is specify the different ranges we want to pull. So I've got the amount as one array, the tax as the other way. So in one sense, this is a bit cleaner because now I just have to specify the array. I don't have to look at the headers. And so when I do this, it gives me that value. And again, I can sum this up just like that, 6285. So I've got that. The one disadvantage, obviously we're hard coding this value, which is not ideal because now if I want to go in, I have to change it to enter 2. Now, one way around this is what I could do is use the match function. Now, by doing this, I can specify this value and look in this range. So amount and tax, exact match, close this out, and there we go. So now if I change this to tax, I've got 314. So as you can see with all of these, we can accomplish both lookups, we can do summations. Some of these functions are going to be more complicated than others. The index and match, I would say if you're an advanced user, if you're comfortable doing this, I think this can be a bit more versatile just because you're specifying the range. You don't have to set it up. You don't have to worry about the order. You're doing the match. With the switch function, this is not too bad of a setup if you're not dealing with a lot of different columns. You just have to do that first part where you're setting up the headers and then selecting your list. For the choose function, again, that can work as well if you're comfortable with using the match function, but there's no one way where you can accomplish this. Just like with anything in Excel, there's no one way to do something. So whatever you're more comfortable using. So index and match works really good, especially if you're using older versions of Excel, because on older versions, switch and choose are not going to work. So I'd highly suggest knowing how to use the index and match function first. The switch and choose function can be useful if you're dealing with smaller arrays. And if order doesn't matter, or actually, if you have it in a specific order, that's the only situation where I'd suggest using the choose function, just because as you can see, the order is really important, and it's a similar limitation to working with VLOOKUP where you're specifying the column number instead of doing a match. So with the choose function, the key thing to remember is that the order matters, whereas the switch function, you're still basically doing a search where it's going to look for that value that you specify in this first argument as your expression, and then you can search for the different values and result pairs that you've set up. So that's in a nutshell how you can use these functions. So I hope this helps you in using Excel and determining which one is best for you. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.